I started it.
Okay, so this year I started interning at Gwinnett Medical Center, and I interned for the respiratory department with a respiratory technician. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about Quest just in case y'all want to do it, because I started doing it after this one girl presented her project to me, and it just seemed like something that I would want to do. So the Quest Internship, it's an intern program offered to high school students within the gifted program, so you guys can all do it. And they're able to spend a part of their school day with a mentor at a designated location with any choice of career that they want to do. And you can do it for either 1 semester or 2 semesters. And it just allows students to gain experience on working in a more adult environment. And you have the opportunity to receive more specific knowledge of a career, and then you can get a better understanding if you want to do it or not. And that's one of the reasons why I did it. So how it works, let's see, you leave during the school day. So after my 6th period, I get to go. And I go on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 2 to 5. And you have to do at least 5 hours a week. But in my case, I do 6 hours. And let's see, so far I've done 66 hours this year. And I still have all next semester to do it too. And it's just really fun. And I have to wear scrubs, so that's fun too. And then I did it. The reason why I did the program was because I knew that I wanted to do a career in the medical field, but I wasn't sure exactly which department because there's so many. So I chose the respiratory department because the respiratory, it has to do with almost everything within the hospital. And every day I go almost everywhere in the hospital. I go to the heart, the brain, everywhere. And I get to see all different aspects that come with the hospital, and it just opens up a lot more opportunities to get experiences and learn how to do things that I'll be able to do in the future. And I found out that I really enjoy doing it. Let's see. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what I do. Since my mentor was a respiratory technician, my responsibilities was that I went in there and then I would clean any equipment that needed to be cleaned, like the ventilators, and I'll show you some pictures on the next slide, and then some BiPAPs, and this is just equipment that they use in order to make people breathe on the patients. And I wasn't really allowed to communicate or get anywhere near patients just because I'm in high school, so I had to do most of the dirty work, but it was still fun. And let's see. They work with the therapist, so I got to work with therapists, and I saw a bunch of code blues, and I'll explain that on the next page too. But the required education for a respiratory technician is an associate's degree, and then other requirements are on-the-job training license in some states, and professional certifications might be required. My mentor has been a respiratory technician for almost 50 years now, so she really enjoys it, so I guess it's a good job. But and the growth in this area is 17% from 2012 to 2022. So it's increasing, so it's a good job to go into too, and the annual salary is $47,850. That's just a little bit about it. And then here's some responsibilities that I do. Let's see. I already told you about the ventilators, and that's a picture of the intubation rules, and that's what they use for code blues when somebody goes under cardiac arrest or can't breathe. And I set everything up. I make sure all equipment goes out to where it needs to be. And yeah, so that's good for that page. And here's some pictures of the stuff I have to work with and set up. This is a BiPAP, and I clean it, and then I set it up, and you can see that right there. And then I have to make sure that the fuel tanks are full. And then that's a ventilator, and I have to clean it, set it up, either HME or heated. It just depends on the patient, and then I have to test it by plugging all the right things into the oxygen and the everything else, and I have to test it, and then transport vents, and then there's the intubation rolls, and that shows you a bunch of different stuff that goes into it to be able to do that. And then, and more. I also, since I clean stuff, I also put everything into the pasteurizer, and then I have to put it in the dryer, and then after it's done drying, I have to seal it and make sure it goes back into its right place. And then, here's one more responsibility. I make sure that all the stock is placed into the correct location when it runs out. So once a week, all the stock comes in, and then we have to go around the hospital making sure that each equipment room is full with the correct stock for the respiratory equipment. Okay. So far, it's been a really good experience. I've really enjoyed it, and it's really opened my eyes about the medical field, and I really learned that that's something I want to do, and I really enjoy it, and I can't wait to pursue it later. And I learned how to do and use a lot of the equipment, so later in the future when I do have a career, I'll be able to have one step further before other people because I would have actually had that experience and learned how to do it. And I'm going to go to the University of Georgia. I got accepted, and I'm majoring in biomedical engineering at pre-med, so I'm really excited about that. Thank you. And my most memorable experience from the internship was that it was really exciting to know that they were actually using the equipment that I was making and testing, and they're using it on patients. And then I also got to witness them do a blue code or code blue on somebody and use my innovation role. It was just really cool to know that they my contributions were actually benefiting them. And let's see, if you guys want to do quests, I really recommend that you do it. It's really fun. You get to leave school, and you start next year. You can apply for it, and you have to be in the gifted program. You have to get a teacher recommendation, and do you know who's in charge of it this year?
Is it Miss Young still?
Miss Young?
I think Miss Young.
Yeah.
The science Miss Young.
Miss Young's in charge of it, and if you want to do it and if you're interested, go ask her about it and get an application next year, and just talk to her about it if you have any more questions. And so what I had to do was I filled out the application, and then I had an interview at the school about what career I would want to do. And then that person, she went around and tried to find mentors for me. And then when she found one, I had another interview with my mentor just to set scheduling and all that. So it's really fun. And if you guys ever want to get more hands-on experience with what you're interested in, if you're really passionate about something, I really recommend that you do it. Because a lot of kids do it and they really enjoy it. Do you guys have any questions? No?
Do you know any examples of some of the other areas that people have done it in?
Yeah, there is a lot of medical stuff. They're doing x-ray and pictures, and then somebody's doing, I'm trying to think of what it was. Because there's some stuff in the hospital you can't do.
Yeah.
Because you can't do neurology and stuff like that. But I know a girl who's doing law. She's mentoring with a lawyer, and that's what she wants to do. And architecture, I think they're doing that too. So
I think one of my kids 2 years ago was doing some kind of engineering.
Yeah, they do that. And it's really cool. I really recommend that you guys do it. So, and that's it.